Guys, I am back with another video. Hopefully you guys are doing okay, and hopefully you guys are in for a really fun weekend. Today I'm going to be talking about signs that manifestation is near. This was a requested video from one of my lovely subscribers. Thank you so much for requesting this because it's a really good subject. It's really interesting, the things you notice when you get into all this inner work. So let's just get started. So you set an intention, and in this video I'll use money for example because I'll give you some of the things I experienced before my manifestation manifested. So you set an intention to manifest money. In this case, I set the intention for freedom, and I wanted to manifest $25,000, a car, and get into business for myself so that I can quit my job. And so when you set your intention, I always talk about the trigger and inner work. So when you set your intention, you know you're going to be triggered, and those triggers it's only a reflection. It's only coming to you to show you what's in the way of your manifestation. So I always say show gratitude and look at the as those triggers as gifts. So, if you're actually doing the trigger work, showing the gratitude, accepting and surrendering to your triggers, and, not only doing the trigger work, but doing the visualizations and the meditations and things like that, then what happens is you begin to raise your vibration. And you begin to notice that you are vibrating on the same frequency as the things that you're wanting, because you get glimpses of the manifestation. So say for instance you set an intention to manifest money. You notice if you're playing the lottery, you'll start winning smaller amounts. You might get a raise at your job. If you're entering in contests, you start noticing that you're winning those contests. You might get a month of free rent, just different things like that. You're starting to notice that money is actually flowing in and out of your life. And the reason why I say that trigger work is so important is because it's actually going to get you to a place that you can completely surrender. And surrendering, that's the key when you're manifesting, because you have to get to a place where you're not in resistance and you're not trying so hard. So when you're doing the inner work and you're doing that trigger work, you're going to be triggered less and less and less. And as you're triggered less and less, money is going to be coming into your reality, and you're going to notice that you don't need it as much. You're not going to be so hell bent on getting that lump sum of money, because you're clearing your triggers. More money is coming into your life, and you don't really even need the money that you've been trying to manifest. And so when you're at that point, that manifestation is coming. So like when I was trying to manifest that money, I noticed I wasn't really struggling to pay my rent. I had manifested a smaller amount months before, about $5,000. So, I wasn't really struggling to pay my rent. The smaller amounts were helping me. I could shop, I could eat, I can do the things that I want to do. So I stopped, relying on that lump sum of money that I was trying to manifest. I kind of I already felt good in my reality, so I really didn't need it. And I only got to that place by doing the trigger work and, clearing a lot of the money beliefs that I had. So it's really important, guys, when you set your intention and then you're triggered, really take time to show gratitude to what's happening around you, as it's just a reflection, and really dive deep into whatever it is that's triggering you. It might be, some self-worth issues you got going on. Some money is hard to come by, beliefs that you got from mom. It could be anything like that. So definitely take the time to dig in those triggers and work on those limited beliefs, because as you do that, you'll notice that you can kind of let go. And once you let go, it's going to allow your manifestation to come in. So when you get to a place where it's easy for you to let go because you're getting glimpses of your manifestation, you start to ease up a little bit, then that's, one sign that manifestation is near. And then another sign that manifestation is near is synchronicities. Now, synchronicities can come in the form of, those triple digit numbers, 222s, 333s, 555s. Now, I was getting that a lot, and I'll get back to that in a minute. Or it could be, say for instance, you're thinking of a friend and they happen to call you, or, you've been thinking about a song, and as soon as you get in your car, that song is on the radio. you're going to start experiencing a lot of different things like that. And it's just showing you that, the universe is definitely working in your favor. And, to those numbers, like, it was so crazy. I noticed, I started realizing, 222 and 333s when I was in, like, feeling doubtful or fearful. And every time I felt that, I would look up and I would see those numbers, and I start calling them my angels, because that would just really put me in a place of, okay, you know what, I got this. It really put me in a place of ease. And so I felt like, I was manifesting these synchronicities in my life to just really guide me through the whole process. So you'll notice that, you'll see those numbers, and, right when I think manifestation is about to happen, you'll see 777 a lot, and 888. And I remember looking up 888, and that's a sign of wealth and abundance being on the way. So I was definitely seeing those numbers or not. And guys, I'm not saying that this is definitely going to happen to you. I'm just sharing my experience. So, I definitely experienced those synchronicities when it comes to numbers, and like 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, when I was, feeling to the point like maybe I wanted to give up, or, I'm kidding myself, this is not going to happen, I would see 11, 11. And that was a sign that, stop what you're thinking, because your thoughts are definitely manifesting. And I would see that a lot. So I noticed those synchronicities. And dreams is a really big deal when it comes to manifestation, because you'll realize once you start dreaming about your manifestation, it's in your subconscious and it's a done deal. So my dreams are super intuitive, and not only do I dream, I have very, very powerful astral traveling experiences. And so on this particular occasion, this was, I think, a couple of weeks before I got the email about the money. I had a very, very powerful experience where I astral traveled, and for some reason my soul, it was always drawn, or my astral body was always drawn to beautiful beaches, big beautiful bodies of water. I thought to myself, what, I do want to manifest this money so that I can travel more. Maybe that's a sign. And not only that, it was one occasion where I astral traveled. I left my body, and out the window I went, and I went to this beautiful, it was like almost indescribable body of water, beautiful beach. And, as I was gliding, over the body of water, I was just reciting to myself, the $25,000 is mine. I had set the intention for $25,000. I got way more, but that's what I set it for. And I just kept saying to myself, the $25,000 is mine. The $25,000 is mine. I just kept repeating that over and over again. And that was pretty much the whole experience, but it was just so powerful. And so, after I got back in my body, I popped up, and I just had this absolute knowing that, I was on the right track, and this was absolutely going to manifest. But of course, guys, I didn't start, having the dreams and the synchronicities until, a couple of weeks or months even of doing this inner work and really, really working on my triggers when it comes to money. So, back it up a little bit. You're working on your triggers. When you're doing that trigger work, you're starting to notice that, you're manifesting more money. If it's love or a boyfriend that you're wanting, you'll notice as you do that inner work when it comes to relationships and men that, guys are going to respond to you different. And so you're noticing glimpses of the things that you want to manifest. You're noticing all those, and it pretty soon it's not even a big deal, because you're feeling so good in your reality now. And that's another thing. When you get to a point where your manifestation almost feels normal to you, to where you're not really bored with it, but it's not as exciting, you're going to get to that place. And when you're at that place, a lot of people panic because they feel like, oh my God, what's going on? I have to remain excited about this. But no, that's not true. The thing is, you want to get to a place where it's just like, not a big deal. Because when you're making it a big deal, you're resisting. And when you're resisting, it's not going to come to you. So you absolutely want to get to a place where, having thousands of dollars in my bank account is absolutely normal. It's not as exciting. And when I got that check, it wasn't. I was grateful, but I'm just like, it was normal for me. And the reason why I feel like it was normal is because I was doing that inner work. Money was coming into my life. I didn't have the biggest need for it. And not only that, is like when I did my guided meditation and my visualizations, day in and day out, I felt so excited in my inner world that my reality didn't even matter. So I was so used to that excitement. Like I was going to bed and waking up feeling like that all the time. So it definitely got to a point where, it really didn't matter. I had that dream. I was very excited, but it was just like an absolute knowing. And I was already living in that reality. So it was just like, it just won't be a big deal. So once you notice that it's not a big deal anymore, that's definitely a good sign that manifestation is near. So we have the synchronicities, you getting glimpses of your manifestation, you dreaming, those numbers, those count as synchronicities, all those tie into, signs that manifestation is on its way. I think that's really all I can think of right now. Let's see. And just like, before I got that email, I just had an overall good feeling. Like all the inner work and all the visualizations and just different things like that, it just really raised my vibration to a point where I just felt good naturally. Like I didn't need the money, I didn't need a relationship, I really didn't need anything, because you have to feel good without the circumstances, and that's what it's all about. Like, get into a place where your frequency is high without the outer things that's supposed to make you feel good. It's the total opposite. A lot of people think that in order to be happy you have to have all these the job and the money and the relationships, but it's not that. In order to get those things, you have to feel happy and whole already, and I absolutely feel like I got to that point. Like my life is not perfect, guys. Like I still struggle with a lot of things, but a few years ago I absolutely needed money and relationships and friends to feel good. But after doing so much inner work and working on yourself internally, you'll notice that you don't need those things, and the simplest things will really, really please you. And I was at that point. So definitely, guys, I just really, really want to stress that the inner work is important. Like you're not going to get to this point overnight. It's work. Just kind of look at this whole life experience as your classroom, because you're here to uncover all your wounds, just the deepest layers, and just dig deep and learn yourself at a soul level, and get to feeling whole, get to feeling complete, like you were when you were first born, without all the materialistic things that you think you need to feel good. It's all inner, and I will always say that. So yeah, guys, hopefully this video helped you. I will try to post a video sometime later this week, because I won't be able to post Friday. I manifested a really, really cool beach vacay. So I'm gonna be going to the beach, and it's just in time for the full moon. So yeah, guys, I'll be doing my full moon ritual, and I've been really, really working with some mantras, and I'll be doing my full moon ritual and my mantra chanting on the beach. I'm so excited about that. And I'll definitely let you guys know how that trip went. So yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoy your weekend, and I'll talk to you really soon. Bye.